Yeah, it is. I see it. And we got audio. Oh boy, in the driver's seat again. All right. Another day at the office. What the fuck is with this? Come on. Don't look like a gimp. Yuck. Alright, that's better. How about this? Yeah, so, come on. This chick's like it when I do this. There we go. Yeah. Where? I unbuttoned my shirt. I just unbuttoned my shirt, dude. Are we better? Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, good. Thanks a lot. Oh, good. Perfect. Spontaneous moment. I was unbuttoning my shirt. Once upon a time, the chicks like that. In case you're wondering what the hell's going on, we're running a little late today, so we're just going to talk to you for a minute. There's news coming in by the second. We've been overwhelmed. We're running low on caffeine. I mean, we might have to get, well, maybe the Dramamine or something. You know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do a show. We're going to do a show in the future on the legalization of addictive drugs. Oh, really? Excellent. Okay. So we're just going to go. Are we going to stay with the show? Or are we bailing, or what are we doing here? Yeah. Mm. Well, yeah, the world in real time. Yep. 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 Yeah. No, they're working on it. Yeah, and I mean, we're gonna go over some of that today, but we're gonna go deep next week with some of the history behind this conflict, ramifications economically, but it's just too much this week. But we still have a lot of stuff this week. All right, so we're gonna take a 5-minute break, I think, and we'll be right back. Yeah, world famous drummer Rick Parnell from Spinal Tap on this, people. Listen up. Yep, do it. Yeah, do it. It's good. I know. I don't think so. Like, I think it's pretty soon, though. I think.
All right, now my mic's
Well,
on.
we're getting into March in a couple
We
of
were
days.
muted.
So, yeah. Well, it's snowy here, so it's not that bright, but it's getting warmer here in southeastern British Columbia in the Dominion of Canada, home of the first Freedom Convoy. We came up with it before you guys did, so we're going to have that on the show today. We got a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, my gosh, what a great time to be a newscaster. Hope you people get to sleep. No, we don't spend all our time on this, but we do a lot. And I think that the Yankees got something at the top here from the Washington Post, which probably is interesting.
That is, let me check something here.
So I hope you're all doing good out there and having a prosperous year of the tiger. We're 3 weeks into the lunar Chinese year of the tiger, and tigers.
I'm the
you were
right.
Pig. The Yankee was right, though. Pootie Boy waited till the Olympics was over, almost a couple days.
Well, we were also talking about how Biden said, right? It was February. I believe it was February 16th. I just found it bizarre that, Biden came out and said that's when the invasion's happening. I think something went off there. There was something, and I was reading some other things, possibly. Whatever the U.S. intelligence was, it may have been accurate, because I don't know. It just seems that way. I read something about how somebody was held responsible for why the invasion in Russia didn't actually get kicked off on February 16th.
Well, there are so many questions and so little answers.
Who knows? We're never going to find out for sure. But it was just absolutely bizarre that President of the United States would say that. This is when it's going to happen, right on this date. Now. I know, but it's still lingering in my mind.
Well, a lot of things are lingering all over the place. That's why we're going to go in deeper next week, especially with the history, the excuses, the economic impact. But let's get the show going here. What do you got? Washington Post. What do they got to say about that?
Well, that's paywall. This is
okay.
I'm gonna do Al Jazeera. Let me move into the.
Yeah, they're more friendly. At least they let you look at the stuff for free. Sorry, Wolf.
I will. Let me get this set up. I'm on. Let me see here. What I want to do is check out the Washington Post article. This is archive.is. So check it out if you want. Sometimes you can use archive.is, which now it's redirecting to .fo for some reason. But
oh man, FO that then. Let's get to somebody.
Well, this is a little bit old, but I want to test out this archive.is site.
This is a test. We're testing things on you people, that.
So basically, I'm using archive.is to try to get past these horrible paywalls that are always on the Washington Post, the New York Times, also is
Globe and Mail.
Brutal. Sometimes I use Safari to get around it, but
Toronto Sun. I mean, they're trying to make a living, right? Anyhow.
Yeah, but I got to get my news. I can't pay. I can't have 20, 30 different news subscriptions.
I feel for you.
They really need a package especially for independent journalists. Whatever it is, you pay whatever it is, $50 a year,
you get it all.
$80, and you get everybody under the sun, and you don't have to deal with these paywalls, and they get their money.
Phone bozos.
There might be something. There might be something out
Jeff. there. Wait, I got his number. I'll phone him. He owns the Washington Post, right? Bozos, Amazon, Mr. Amazon, doesn't he own Wopu? Somebody.
Yes, he does. He does. Yeah.
I'll call him. Okay, let's move on.
But this was updated. So the link that I had is it's basically been updating. Yeah. So this was updated at 5:13 today.
Oh, nice.
Russian Vladimir Putin signed decrees ordering military forces into 2 separate regions of Ukraine for peacekeeping purposes as Moscow recognized the breakaway region's independence Monday.
Yeah.
Putin just signed a decree recognizing the areas, a move that Russia could use to justify an attack in those locations in agreement of cooperation with the heads of 2 regions, Denis Pushilin of the Donetsk People's Republic and Pashinik of Luhansk People's Republic. Want to see if I'm asking for too much. I don't think this video is going to play. But also the Al Jazeera, this was actually old. So we should probably just move on to
sure. A lot of things that happen. I've been watching the UN Security Council meetings in their entirety as much as possible. It's a very interesting study in rhetoric and presentation. For those of you that are really hardcore and try to watch everything.
But Germany has announced this, and this is from this article here that I have in the show notes from Al Jazeera. So the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline is being halted, and this is a pipeline that goes through. Is it the Bering Sea? It's that basically from.
It doesn't go through the Ukraine.
It doesn't go through land at all. It's all through water. Above Russia, and then into Western Europe, into Germany.
Lovely. That's an excellent looking for a place to happen.
And that's going to be completely halted. And Germany, plays a special role with Russia. I mean, you had the Berlin Wall there that fell in '89, and they economically with natural gas and other areas, they're tightly tied with Russia, so they're really starting to just sever everything. This is going to be the ramifications of this. It's going to get really complicated. It's going to take a long time for all of this to unfold.
Which is why we're covering it this week and next week, just because there's so much ongoing stuff and there's so many different theories as to why it's happened. I don't subscribe that there's just one theory. Been watching some of the pundits, and it's like, this is the only reason it's happening. No, there's about 18 reasons. Currently, the Russians are moving along quite well into the Ukraine. They're meeting a lot of resistance. The people are I know Ukrainians are pretty tough, and they're pretty centered on defending their country. Ukrainian invasion increasingly frustrated by lack of momentum. According to a U.S. defense official out of Ground News here, I would imagine that would be the case because the people are very committed and they really do not like Vladimir at all.
Yeah, so taking a look at this first article we have, and it's the newer stuff here. Register. No, I do not want to. I might have to put this and try to do the archive link again.
Ground News? Yeah. Ground News link?
Yeah, just give me a second here. It's just paywall. This is... never mind.
The Ground News should open for you.
Register, subscribe. They don't even get me. Let me see if I've got Safari. Maybe Safari will at least allow me to get to one of the links. And then what I can do is, who do you want to take a look at? There's National Post. Ground News basically combines articles from many different. The Hill. Let's see what we got here.
Well, in the show notes, you got a Ground News, Ukraine invasion, Russia increasingly frustrated. I don't know.
Today Online. Let me see if I can get the Washington Examiner. Let's see if this will load. All right. Yeah, Ground News seems to... They have like some type of timer. Sometimes the site will load, and then... They kick something in with...
Well, anyway, the Ground News article, which I did read, and I'll just paraphrase it, the Russians are frustrated, increasingly frustrated by the lack of momentum. According to a U.S. defense official, of course, but on the ground they are, and hopefully you're going to have the Russian warship go fuck yourself. One, I don't know if you're going to get that.
That's the next one. That's the next link we'll be doing. We'll get to that one because I know that's probably your favorite.
Well, I just think it's standing up to the enemy and saying, "All right, go ahead and blow me away." That's perseverance. That's what it takes, man.
Well, let's load that up. Because we got a lot of links here. It is another ground news, so I might be running into the same issue. And yeah. Let me just use Safari to try to get around this. Get one of these links. And this is from Australia, looks like. Hopefully this loads. Yeah, it seems to be doing it on those group links. Anyway, this one is loading. I'm not sure about the video. But this is from news.com.au, so Australia. Ukrainian border guards protecting Snake Isle reportedly refused to surrender to Russian attackers and were all killed. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky had confirmed that Zamili Island, also known as Snake Island, has fallen to Russian forces, with all defenders killed in the desperate battle. The tiny island, located in the Black Sea in the Odessa region, plays an important role in delimiting Ukrainian territorial waters. And it doesn't allow me to open that map up, but however, there are also reports that defenders of the island may still be alive and are now prisoners of war. So this is happening. Both Ukrainians are also taking some Russian soldiers in as prisoners of war in certain situations. And I was seeing some of the, in some area, because it's absolutely insane how many different places Russia has invaded, just trying to encircle the entire country of Ukraine. But there have been some tank convoys that have been decimated. And they're getting closer to Kiev, so from what we've been told, the citizens are getting armed with rifles. Krasnov, maybe? One of those famous...
Oh, no. They're getting AR-15s from what I hear. They're also being trained in how to make Molotov cocktails, which was a Russian invention. Take this Molotov. No, I mean...
And so, I mean, Putin doesn't want to destroy a lot of infrastructure in Ukraine. He wants all of that in place so that he can just come in. He was expecting just the whole country to just lay down and, it would be over in 3 or 4 days, 5, maybe 7 days tops.
And all the Russian people there would love him, which apparently isn't working out as well as he hoped. And everybody would turn against the prime minister, which they're not. And, I mean, Granny could come out the front door with an AR-15. A couple guys are standing around the tank having a cigarette, and she just wastes the guys. I mean, talk about guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, and so he's not going to bomb. He could, if he didn't care about infrastructure, he could just bomb Kiev and decimate it. But he's not going to do that because he wants that infrastructure. So it's going to turn into really nasty guerrilla warfare. I mean, you think about all the buildings, all those high rises in Kiev. Whatever. I mean, they're not. It's not like in New York City, but there's a lot of high buildings, and you can put snipers all in there. Similar to what the Nazis in World War II, Germany had to deal with in Stalingrad. I mean, they just had all those buildings, and there were snipers everywhere. And the Russian snipers were very, very effective.
Look at Vietnam. Look at a lot of the misadventures. Afghanistan. These guys, they figured they can just go in and everybody's just going to succumb to their military might. And the thing is, the Ukrainians are fighting for their territory, and they know their territory, whereas the Russian guys, I'm sure they'd rather be at home watching hockey or something,
And we're also there is a definite counter protest, in Russia, but obviously it's being quelled
You think?
brutally. Moving on here, we got Russian forces blow up gas pipeline in Kharkiv.
Yeah.
And there we go. I'm going to have to get individual links here for all these.
Mm-hmm.
MY Northwest, Wish TV, Washington Times. Let's see.
I mean, it's covering it. Russian forces have blown up big, major pipeline, and there's environmental concerns about this, not just the infrastructure and the immediate damage, but not good when you blow up a pipeline, it catches fire. It's not good.
So this is out of the WashingtonTimes.com. Russia hits Ukrainian fuel supplies, airfields, and new attacks. Russia unleashed a wave of attacks on Ukraine. This article was posted yesterday, February 26, targeting airfields and fuel facilities in what appeared to be the next phase of invasion that has been slowed by fierce resistance. The U.S. and EU responded with weapons and ammunition for the outnumbered Ukrainians and powerful sanctions intended to further isolate Moscow. Now, from what I've heard number-wise, I believe Ukraine has around, give or take, 250,000 troops.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
And Russia has 190,000 troops, but all 190 are around, so probably around 200,000, give or take.
Yeah.
Only half of those, it is believed, have entered Ukraine. So there's 100,000 Russian troops outside of Ukraine. Remains to be seen, what Putin's going to do with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine the remaining are going to come in, but he must have a reason for not. He kind of did it half. It's basically a half invasion. He's just using half of his troops. So
generally that's pretty much standard operational procedure in military. You don't throw everything in.
Right, but the resistance. He wasn't expecting this much resistance. So what is he going to do with those left, around 100,000 troops?
Well, you might have to use them to get the other guys out. Who knows? But that's standard. I mean, ever since Napoleon, you just don't do that kind of thing. Remember Waterloo? Anyway, and that 250,000 Ukrainian troops does not count Grandma with an AR-15, by the way. She's not on the official list as a troop. But yeah, I think the resistance of the people, it's like Switzerland. Everybody owns a gun and is officially part of the Swiss military. At least they used to be. And the sanction things, I mean, they're laying them on. Now they're starting to go after Putin himself and the oligarchs. One of our favorite oligarchs with the big yacht. Remember him?
Yeah.
The guy that owns the Chelsea football team in the United Kingdom. He stepped down from any direct influence or leadership in that organization. Passed stewardship to some nonprofit and said, you guys are, I'm out of here. So that's kind of interesting. So the sports and politics thing.
According to the article, a senior U.S. defense official said more than half the Russian combat power that was amassed along Ukraine's border had entered the country, and Moscow has had to commit more fuel supply and other support units inside Ukraine than originally anticipated. So it seems like he's probably done even. If it was 190,000 around, he may be up to about 120, 130. So I think he's just has a very small reserve left in Russia. And the whole thing is the longer this war drags on, the harder it's going to be for Putin. And
we got a clip at the end of the show. And the guys are out of gas. So this is not good military coordination. So go on, sorry.
$20 billion, they're saying, estimates $20 billion a day, Putin will be needed each day to fund this invasion. Whoa. So the longer it goes on, the harder it's going to be for him to continue because economically, the West, they can't. The United States, UK, they can't come in Ukraine with soldiers. That would be World War III.
They're not going to. They don't want to.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to do that. I mean, but there are many people that are saying, you know, we'll cover this more next week. But the main issue is that you know, getting Ukraine in as a NATO member, it's never going to happen.
Well, yeah, I mean that's that whole
and that's what they've
backstory.
been trying to do for many years since the Cold War, and NATO. You know, NATO, it should have probably just been disbanded after the Berlin Wall came down, but it's been spending years trying to get more and more of Eastern Europe into NATO, and
It's typical.
and
The
you know,
military alliances.
Putin does have an argument for that. I mean,
Oh, sure he does. Everybody's got an argument for anything. You know, I mean, that's the thing with the spin thing. You can take any group of facts, put them together, and make cheese pie out of it. You know what I mean? So, sure. I mean, he's got certain justifications, which we're going to go deep next week. You know, on the history of Ukraine.
Obama did some certain things with Ukraine when he was in office, so we're going to go over that. And it's kind of ironic that now Biden is president.
Well, for me, I don't know what it's like for every. I'm sorry, but for me, there's so much going on right now. And of course, you know, for intellectuals and stuff, we're going to study the reasons for this is happening and everything. But right now, on the ground, there's so much going on that, you know, we need a little bit of breathing time, especially with the sanctions and the geopolitical economic consequences of this are huge. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this is only a portion of 1.5 hour show, and I don't know. I'm just overwhelmed. I even been firing up the big screen TV because it's like the freaking Super Bowl on right now. But no matter what your persuasion is, even if you're even pro-Russian and on, you know, buying into their spin, the people are paying the price. I mean, it's always the people that pay the price, and the politicians that push the button send the soldiers in, but they don't go in. And the people are just collateral damage. That's my little semi-pacifist take on the whole thing. And I'm not a total pacifist because sometimes you got to do some stuff you don't want to do.
Well, we haven't done any video. We can do this. I think it's MSNBC that you sent. Yeah. So Peacock. Let me get YouTube loaded up. Peacock. I believe there's a Peacock app. Have you used it?
No, I haven't.
And they had the Olympics on there, I believe.
Oh, right on.
The last Olympics. So I'm going to check that out because I would think that they're going to have live coverage constantly.
Yeah. Nice.
On the invasion here in Ukraine. But we have Al
Jazeera's been doing a pretty good job, but yeah, the NBC should be quite good.
Well, it's good. I think the beginning part has some footage from it with this woman with absolutely fantastic hair. I have to say.
Oh man, those Ukrainians are some nice looking women.
No, here on MSNBC, MSNBC.
Oh yeah, she's not from Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh my God, sorry, I didn't mean it.
Just fantastic.
You're black and you're beautiful.
No, it's nice. It's a nice look. I like the hooping lyrics. But let's do a little bit of this.
Country of Ukraine, which is after Russia itself, the largest country by
parental guidance or something.
I mean, there's nothing graphic here. There's going to be bombing, but there's nothing up close.
Okay.
So this is really long. 2 hours. We're only going to do a little bit.
Area in all of Europe.
It's live. It's never going to end.
And it has already killed dozens of soldiers and civilians. Russian President Vladimir Putin's goal is to capture Kyiv and, quote, decapitate Ukraine's government, according to a senior defense official. Putin could then install what could essentially be a puppet government. And now Ukraine's more than 40 million residents are dealing with the fact that their country is under attack. Many have decided to flee, and as you can see here on the screen, from long lines of cars heading out of Kyiv. These are folks on line for gas. Others crowded into subway stations for safety, like these people here in the city of Kharkiv. President Biden said This invasion shows Putin's true intentions and the real threat that he poses.
Putin has committed an assault on the very principles that uphold the global peace. But now the entire world sees clearly what Putin and his Kremlin and his Kremlin allies are really all about.
Yeah, it's the people that take it up the you-know-what.
Let me move up to this. So this Russian airport attacks in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this map gives you. This doesn't even list all the different invasion points.
Wow.
But you can get an idea. I mean, just the entire country.
It is. Yeah, they're
pretty.
Which surprised a lot of people. I mean, including me. I thought he'd be happy with just taking the East and calling it a day, but the full-on invasion. And it started what, Monday or something, or
around there, yeah.
It was after our show last week, and I
mean, the Olympics ended Sunday, pretty much. Yeah,
right.
The whole Donbass, by Monday, the whole Donbass, he did the first phase of it where he just kind of made it seem like, I'll take these smaller regions in the Donbass area and make it seem like I'm not going to do any more. And I think that's what he was trying to do. He just took those small areas in Donbass and waited a little bit.
He could have gotten away with it.
And I think,
more than this.
I think he probably did that to, hide this massive invasion that was coming.
Well, I think he's not exactly. He's really, really smart in a lot of ways, but he's also tends to be like, well, Adolf Hitler invaded Russia. That wasn't a really good move, for 80.
No, that was the end, the beginning of the end.
If he had invaded Russia, and I read somewhere he was stoned on coke. And we're thinking Vladdy must be on something, don't you think? Let's not speculate.
Well, yeah.
Why not?
Well, we're gonna definitely. You gotta stay for the bizarre news because we've got the covering the model that wants to be Putin's mother. I think that's what he needs more than anything else.
Yeah, it's so sweet. Oh, it'd be fun to get to Bizarro.
Absolutely bizarre. But let's do a little bit. Let's do a little bit more in this video, and then we'll move on to the next.
Yeah, we better. We're up to almost
by either destroying it or encircling it. And I think that is the tactic he's going to use, thereby weakening that army where it is not viable on the battlefield, so he can reset the government and put who he wants to be in charge of Ukraine. That is why we have to fight for democracy. And everybody's involved with this arena. The only thing I tell our people in America is that we are going to have to sacrifice too. We have a pandemic and a war. In World War II, we didn't build cars for 3 years. We built airplanes and tanks, and gas was rationed. We will all suffer because of the work of this thug, Putin, who's backed up by over 1,000 nuclear weapons. This is what happens when thugs take control of a country and the entire society, and now you want to take over Ukraine.
Wow. Scary stuff, Bad.
I wanted to also mention this. This is from Ars Technica, and gonna have to dig up a lot more of stuff like this because you're going to see more and more of this. This is Ars Technica. Russia pulls out of European spaceport, abandoning a planned launch. So, I mean, basically, he's with this invasion now. The rest of the world's going to decouple from Russia completely.
Oh, yeah. Did you see where one of the Russian guys said, we could bring the space station down on Great Britain if we wanted to? It's like, okay. You guys.
So, I mean, Russia has a long history with the International Space Station and working with the U.S. It's one of the few areas where the U.S. still was, since this before this invasion, it was one of the few areas where the U.S. worked with Russia.
Directly, yeah.
And so Yeah, so this is just a long-term thing. There's going to be more and more of this stuff. Another Ars Technica, and this is a little bit older, but this is posted February 23rd. Russia's most cutthroat hackers infect network devices with new botnet malware.
Those pesky hackers again.
And this is the Russian government sandworm group uses previously unseen Cyclops Blink. Now, this is before they froze the SWIFT payment system for Russia.
Have they done that yet? Are you sure they've done that?
Yeah, look it up. They have officially. We should put a link in, direct link for that. But it's only in the past 2 or 3 days.
No, I think they're still debating it. But yeah, we'll look into it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, Putin had stated, basically, if they were to take a step like that he would retaliate with hacking.
Well, they've been talking about it. Okay, go on with the article. Thanks.
Hackers for one of Russia's most elite and brazen spy agencies have infected home and small office network devices around the world with previously unseen malware that turns devices into attack platforms that can steal confidential data and target other networks. Cyclops Blink, as the advanced malware has been dubbed, has infected about 1% of network firewall devices made by network device manufacturer WatchGuard, the company said on Wednesday. The malware is able to abuse a legitimate firmware update mechanism found in affected devices in a way that gives it persistence, meaning the malware survives reboots.
Wow.
Cyclops has been circling for almost 3 years and replaces VPN Filter, the malware that in 2008 researchers found infecting about 500,000 home and small office routers. VPN Filter contained a veritable Swiss Army knife that allowed hackers to steal and manipulate traffic and monitor some SCADA protocols used by industrial control systems. U.S. Department of Justice linked the hacks to the main intelligence directorate of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation, typically abbreviated as the GRU. So, pretty good article, gives the basics of it. I mean, this is what we're going to have to be watching out for. So hopefully we can, hopefully there's enough transparency. That's what's really needed as we move forward, because these attacks are coming. And people, you need to be diligent. I mean, just with everything you do. I mean, maybe you think that you're just just an individual. You don't have a company or whatever, but you still have to be diligent.
Yeah. Okay, I've got the update here. 3 hours old out of BBC, excluding Russian banks from SWIFT and the Russian Central Bank. From international operations has up till now been considered last resort. Shutting it out of SWIFT, the international payment system, creates potentially substantial collateral to integrate companies and financial institutions owed money, either now or in the long-term financial contracts with Russian counterparts. It says that the authorities appear to agree in a way to minimize these vulnerabilities by excluding banks at least involved in energy transactions, finding a way to filtering transactions to allow through energy, food, and payments. So it's kind of SWIFT-like, but apparently you're right. They have cut the cord. Woohoo! This is going to be hot. All right, moving right.
Well, this is going to be. It's a good preface into what we're going into next, which is crypto. I mean, now that they're basically disabling. They're not going to disable stuff like energy or anything that's absolutely vital, especially for Europe. There'll be certain transactions that'll go through, but it's not gonna be good for Russia. So are they going to embrace crypto? Loading up this article. This is the whole next section is the whole crypto angle. And this is from Yahoo Finance. I don't think this video is good enough to go over. But crypto regulatory uncertainty creates a significant overhang for companies, says strategist Lisa Ellis joins Yahoo Finance Live to weigh in on how cryptocurrencies are reacting to the Russia-Ukraine crisis and the outlook for crypto regulation.
Wow.
A couple of specific things about that region. Russia is the third largest crypto miner as a country globally, after the U.S. and Kazakhstan. right?
Really?
So they had the recent invasion of Kazakhstan. You had the blackout, and that really hurt Bitcoin operations around. That was around 13% of the hash rate for Bitcoin mining. So that was pretty big that was brought offline. So Russia is a major crypto miner. And then also the Ukraine recently legalized crypto and has been a very crypto. They legalized Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. It's been a very pro-crypto environment. So in this conflict is sort of viewed as a negative for the crypto ecosystem more broadly, in addition to just driving a bit off, like risk-off behavior, and so flight to lower volatility and lower risk assets. But we'll have to see. I would imagine Russia's going to start doing some kind of crypto transactions with what they're mining, things along those lines. And I think we're going to see a whole new kind of system in crypto emerge.
Wow. Well, the regulators will be out in force on this one. You can be sure of that. I mean, look at, the situation with the Bitcoin here in Canada being seized and that whole shmuff. We're going to cover that a little bit later on the reasonably condensed Convoys update, which will have to be at this point because we got a lot of Ukrainian stuff today.
So, the basics of it is, for the United States or Europe, to seize Russian crypto, they could do it at the exchange level and try to stop the transactions. And
that's going to be the ticket.
The Russia's not going to. They're not going to do the transaction on an exchange that the U.S. or Europe could control or try to strong. So I think you're going to see some type of new mechanism, direct transfers of some kind.
Something. He's going to have to reinvent the wheel. Getting thrown out of Shift or Swift or whatever the heck it is. That's huge. I mean, I've been watching this really, really carefully.
Yeah, and that's a big.
That's huge.
Big development. It's going to create.
Breaking today, folks.
It's broke. So this is actually a very good thing for crypto. I mean, the crypto markets obviously are down. They're continuing to go down, but in the long term, we have to see. I mean, with the convoy, with people that want to fund protests with Russia, we could see a whole new market be built.
Well, like you said,
where these crypto transactions can be done and nobody can stop it. I
mean, you are one of the leading experts on crypto because you're studying it intensely and reporting on it, and all of a sudden, crypto's hitting the radar. I mean, especially with this situation, it's no longer just some curiosity in the world economic situation. It's actually coming into play. So it's good that we started covering it like a year ago or some friggin' thing like that when nobody thought it was anything other than just a gamble. All right, what else do you got here for us, Yankee?
I think I may have put the Canadian link. Yeah, I'm gonna have to update these links, but hold on a second here.
Yeah, sure.
This is a real quick article. I thought that was pretty good that you sent this. So this is from Bitcoin Magazine, the Freedom this is all Canadian stuff. Never mind. I'm gonna have to update the notes for this, but I do have a live protest link. Let's see if it's still going. Just check it real quick. I mean, if anybody's interested, we have it in the show notes. I'm just gonna do. I mean, this is live. Nothing crazy should be happening. This is in D.C., but I think this is good that people are out there protesting the war.
Yeah, well, it's all over the world, and including Russia. But as you mentioned, it's dangerous to exercise free speech in Russia. I mean, it's not something you're supposed to be able to do. And I'm sure nobody in Belarus is saying anything. That place is even worse, from what I understand.
Yeah, so this is live from Washington, D.C.
In Canada, Yankee, we have a really large Ukrainian population. And some of them are just like first or maybe second generation. And even some of them are actually immigrants from Ukraine. And they're practically crying. I mean, they have family there, and I always feel for the people. I felt for the Vietnamese people. I felt for the Iraqi people and the Syrian people, and they just get mowed over. Yeah, look at the passion on these people's faces.
Yeah, so this is good that you're able to do this in the United States, that people are doing it, because in Russia everybody's just getting rounded up, thrown in jail.
Now we keep a close eye on the freedom of speech and everything in both Canada and the United States, but if you do comparative analysis, which I don't like doing, we got it pretty good as far as the freedom of expression goes.
So, just finishing up with Russia, it's 4:51. We gotta move on, but do it real quick.
Moving on. I'm moving on.
Further Russian conflict escalation could pressure Ukraine's sovereign credit rating.
No doubt.
This is January 28th, but the sovereign credit rating is Ukraine with a negative credit outlook, reflecting potential for escalation of conflict. Deepening of a long-standing conflict between Russia and Ukraine is likely after Russia's recognition of self-declared republics in the Donbass region.
Yeah.
This was earlier in the week, but Russian forces entering eastern Ukraine places them closer to direct competition with Ukrainian forces, potentially creating grounds and pretext of more expansive conflict over time.
Duh. Well, you're right. They were right on that one. Yeah, it happened.
And this is also interesting. Tether, which we've covered a lot. So it's basically stable coin with definitely some strong CCP China ties, but Tether is crypto stable coin that mimics the United States dollar. Ukraine's wealthy finding it hard to buy crypto amid geopolitical tension. So Tether is supposed to stay at around $1 That's what a stable coin is, but Ukrainians are getting screwed, and on what they have access to the crypto markets, the value of Tether is skyrocketing. So it's interesting in the crypto market. The problem is the USDT supply is limited locally, so buyers can't even purchase it at 4% premium, he said. So not only is it going up in price, but it's even hard for them to purchase it.
Really?
So we'll be following this, see how this evolves. But I imagine in the crypto markets, it's possible that this may stabilize. The price of Trezor will stabilize. Tether, rather, will stabilize eventually. Cryptocurrencies fall on Russian ban. Bitcoin slipped to 40,000 level. Let me just check absolute latest. It's at 37,534. Ethereum is at 2,600. It was at 2,500. So I think it's going to stay in that range for a little while. I think we're going to be at these levels for a little while longer until things stabilize in Ukraine. When that could take 2 weeks, that could take a month. I would think 2 weeks to a month. We'll know better. Ukrainian central bank suspends electronic cash transfers, bolstering the use of crypto, and this is another angle of it where crypto is just taking center stage now. But because it's still in its infancy, we may see some kind of new mechanism. That's what's really needed. A mechanism to transfer crypto without exchanges, because exchanges, you have no protection on the exchange. Somebody comes into your account. There are people right now, hackers, that are using methods to get around two-factor authentication. A lot of them are even automated phone systems will actually call the person who has a Coinbase account and say, your account, this is Coinbase, your account's been hacked. Obviously, they're faking that they're from Coinbase, and then they try to get the user to give up their two-factor authentication code.
Oh,
and
really?
People getting hacked through there. So crypto really needs something it's not an exchange, and it's just a quick you can do wallet-to-wallet transfers, but we need another next level of that with some kind of additional security mechanisms and all that. And I think we're going to see that evolve with all of this going on. So Ukraine's central bank is cracking down on digital money transfers in one of the latest measures implemented in connection with the nationwide declaration of martial law. Canuck, a popular Ukrainian crypto exchange, shows that Ukrainian buyers are paying a premium for Tether's USDT stablecoin, which is pegged to the price of the U.S. dollar.
Trippy.
So I think, people are definitely the crypto developers in the crypto market. Maybe it'll be related to. It could be a feature of Coinbase where they. Some of these big exchanges have the resources where the
people are going to get very inventive. That's for sure.
People are going to figure out a way to get this crypto transferred, but
interesting.
We'll have to wait and see. So we're going to move on to the Canadian stuff. I've got to fix the notes here, but if you have something that you can go over, and I can fix the notes.
Yeah, sure. And I sent you a link just now in Signal to the Crypto Potato article, but I have quotes out of it. And basically, it's from CryptoPotato.com. After Bitcoin seizures and freezing bank accounts, Canada finally ends Emergencies Act. This all went down this week. Another thing that went down this week was Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced he will end the use of the Emergencies Act and unfreeze bank accounts of protesters. After careful consideration, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is it will end the use of the Emergencies Act used to force trucker-led protests in Ottawa and blockades of border crossings in the United States. This includes unfreezing of the bank accounts that were frozen during the Emergency Act. In a series of tweets, Justin tweets, that's nice, Trudeau stated the situation in the country is no longer an emergency while announcing that the federal government will be revoking Emergency Act powers. He said lawmakers are confident that the existing laws and bylaws are sufficient to keep people safe. The Prime Minister also started to unfreeze several bank accounts belonging to protesters, as well as the Freedom Convoy and donors who have resorted to Bitcoin, BTC. Now, this is about a 5-day-old article, by the way. While appearing before a parliamentary committee on February 23rd, Canada's Assistant Finance Minister, Isabelle Juppé, also confirmed information was shared by the RCMP with financial institutions, and we were informed yesterday by financial institutions that they are unfreezing the accounts. The vast majority of the accounts are in possession of being unfrozen, subject to new information that the RCMP may have. And that would go to that the government has signed off on it. All of this is now in the hands of the law enforcement agencies, which would include the RCMP. I'm sure it would include CSIS, which is the equivalent of the CIA here. And then, of course, the Crown prosecutors, the government prosecutors, to decide if under the guise of contributing money to the truckers, they were actually doing something that was thoroughly illegal. But in general, Sally, who contributed $50 and had her bank account frozen, she'll get it back. And what the government was saying was they needed those powers to cut the money off to those people on the street so they couldn't go to the ATM and get money, and that would freak them out, and they get all scared and go home. And it kind of did work that way. But it was, I'm sorry, I've got the screen tilted up so I could read. I can see the top of my head for a while. So yeah, it was, that was the best news I heard all week. And Justin was, popularity of the Emergencies Act started over 70%, almost immediately within days dropped to 55%. And at the time of the resolution by Parliament, which was never certified by the Canadian Senate, it was not that popular. So the people spoke, and Justin had the smarts to listen, and now the Emergency Act is over. And that's pretty much the story for now, anyway.
And so this other article, very interesting. Let me find it here. Certain bank accounts will remain frozen.
Yeah.
So Canada is working on more. Yeah. So, but this one has specific information. Let me find it here.
Like I say, according to the government, it's in the hands of the RCMP, which is, you don't want things in the hands of the RCMP. Those guys have a.
So, with regards to Factor 2's implied, this is from ctnews.ca. The RCMP has already begun to unfreeze accounts attached to those affiliated with the convoy. However, Freeman noted that will be some bank accounts that will remain frozen, not because of the emergency measures, she said, speaking in French. There will be other orders, court orders, and others, and because of these orders, the bank accounts may be frozen.
Yep, that's what they said, and that's why I say it's in the hand of law enforcement and prosecution now. So, I mean...
So, what I would like to find out is exactly which accounts have remained frozen, and what is their justification for that?
Well, I'm sure the cops aren't going to tell you because it's an ongoing investigation, but we'll be watching it.
Eventually,
of course,
I should be able to.
If charges are laid, then they have to justify the laying of charges. Otherwise, you know the line, dude, from the cops and the government. I can't comment on that because it's an ongoing investigation, which is understandable. You can. I know people. On a federal felony grand jury indictment, and they were never notified that they were under federal grand jury notification of being, because they were at an outstanding warrant, and they didn't want to tip this guy off. And actually, you're looking at him, but I won't go into the details why I was under federal felony. That doesn't get people's attention. All right, what else do you got?
I'm not going to go well, let's see. Actually, I'm going to check this real quick. We pretty much covered it, the crypto freezing.
I think so.
I do have links here. I'll just load them up. We're not going to go through them, but here's it's a really long video. It's an hour and 25 minutes, but it's a little old, but yeah, Viva Frey or whatever you call him.
He's nuts, dude.
But he has it. I've got the links here if you want to check them out. They're highly recommended because he's literally was going live with the votes in Canadian Parliament when they were voting on the Emergencies Act declaration. You can really see the actual politicians calling in their yays and nays. And all that.
I watched that live on CBC, dude. I mean, that's nothing. That guy's a nutball. I tried to watch some of it this morning, but I didn't have enough crack to get the whole thing. But I'll try it later, I promise. No, I
just thought it was interesting. And you can see all the politicians, their names.
It was on CBC.
It was cool to see it live.
Well, I guess you probably didn't get to see it in the States but there was a Canadian feed, and I think we got this thing called CPAC or something like that. Anyway, it's the government station. Boy, I tell you, if you want to get bored late at night on cable TV, just turn that on. They have like the whole parliament. The guys get something there. Yes, Your Honorable, in the province of Nova Scotia, I recognize the chair and proceed to pass a motion to excommunicate.
The Speaker of the House is very interesting looking. The whole outfit. He has like this huge, almost looks like it looks like a massive bow tie or something. I don't know what it is. Oh man,
we do it upright with the robes and stuff.
Yeah.
Nancy doesn't dress that way. Can you imagine if we told Nancy she had to dress that way?
Wow.
In all robes.
I think she does need a certain outfit.
New fashion designer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you should be it.
Well, speaking of Nancy, let's move on to the U.S. trucker convoy.
Sure. How are we doing here?
We're at 5:04. We're all right.
Oh, we're
okay. The U.S. trucker convoy is really running out of steam.
They're going from truck stop to truck stop.
I've had some links earlier in the week. It kind of or before the Russian invasion, there was a decent amount of hype around it. But once Putin went into Ukraine, that was it. That's now going to be the main news story. But
hard to get attention against that, eh? Well, they're out there though. I saw an update this morning, and they're going after Vegas. They've been basically driving a few hundred miles and stopping at another big truck stop, filling up their tanks, and going in the restaurant and camping out. And then they're going on, and there's people on the passes and they're waving and everything. I mean, at least, well, not at least, but you think about the Canadian truckers. They're out there in, well, at Fahrenheit, it was probably like sub-zero and the wind is blowing and they're in Alberta. That's pretty tough stuff. I'm just saying, and you guys got it easy down there, man. Cruising Route 66. Go on, I'm breaking it.
I mean, Nancy's getting ready. She's getting ready. I mean, the District of Columbian government, including Democratic Mayor Muriel Bowser and the U.S. Capitol Police, which Nancy's in charge of, are requesting the National Guard assistance. D.C. leaders have also increased police presence in the city and plan to reinstall the fencing that surrounded the Capitol complex for much of 2021. So it's going to be a nightmare in D.C.
Maybe.
I'm thinking I mean, if the U.S. trucker convoy did have some kind of collection of people in D.C., it's going to be really bad.
Well, I want to make a comment here. I've been watching the situation here in Canada, and I've been watching the big rigs, right? The big trucks that go through our area delivering things to us and take them away and all that. And I've seen very little. Few Canadian flags, which has been the hijacked symbol for the convoy. So it's mostly pickup trucks now. So it'll be interesting when they get to D.C. how many trucks there are compared to SUVs and pickup trucks, because, a lot of people probably want to go to D.C. and create havoc, but they can't buy an 18-wheeler. So anyway, that's going to happen in the future.
We're going over that with Sour D and Tech Tie, Nojo. A few other people at the Friday night hosting panel, and Tech Tie was saying that they'd be better off just having the convoy just go around, do a loop in D.C. and never stop, because if they stop, the National Guard will be there. There'll be massive amounts of police, and give them a chance to arrest people, and you're going to have agent provocateurs, and Antifa will be all over the place creating problems. So something will happen if there's some kind of large presence of people hanging out in D.C.
You got to give it up to the whole protest. I mean, you can have Antifa and you can have the Proud Boys creating havoc in the same place. So, actually there is unity.
Well, that's what that if that were to happen, it's just going to be the whole movement will be hijacked by that, by the Antifa element and
what else is new,
and the opposition, Proud Boys, which is
Proud Boys,
ridiculous.
Give it up. You go to a lot of trouble trying to get attention, Yankee. I mean, give it up.
Just in 2020 alone, I mean, there's just so many incidents, Proud Boys and Antifa. It's gotten old. So I'd like to see the country move on, but
they should just get Antifa and the Proud Boys together. And
I think they should just do it in a legal boxing match, whatever it is, and just have it on Netflix or something. I don't know, a live stream, and there can be rules, regulations, and they can fight each other. And you could be pay-per-view, and people could pay money.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they're not doing that angle.
Antifa versus the Proud Boys. Who will reign? Who will rule the day?
Do like a WW death match with a lot of them, like 10 on 10 or something.
We got to get The Rock to do it like he did at Super Bowl, to come out and announce the whole thing intro. I mean, that guy kicked it, didn't he? The Super Bowl intro.
He did. He's probably going to run for president. I'm going to vote for him. I think he's going to run. I'm voting for him. I do have. Let me see if this will load without a paywall. Let me cross my fingers here. We'll just go over this real quick. So this is posted today. After its ranks thin, one trucker convoy halts its plan to go to Washington to protest COVID policies. Organizers urge its members still on the road to merge with other caravans headed to the nation's capital. And here we go. You got a guy here draped in the flag. People hanging out.
Yeah, they love using our flags.
A caravan of truckers that left California for Washington, D.C. on Friday to protest coronavirus mandates arrived in Las Vegas early Saturday with only 5 trucks in its ranks, the organizer says. So that's really small. Prompting them to scrap the convoy and direct members to merge with other anti-mandate groups heading to the Capitol. The caravan, named Freedom Convoy 2022, was one of several in the United States modeled after Canadian protests.
I like that, caravan. Instead of convoy, that's great. It's a caravan.
They are scheduled to make stops in Salt Lake City, Denver, and other major cities before arriving in Washington on March 1st, in time for President Biden's State of the Union address.
Okay, well, that must be like a week old then, because March 1st is freaking Tuesday, man. You can't get from Vegas
No. They left this Friday, right?
Well, they can't get that
I drove.
March 1st. It takes 3 days without stopping to drive that, man.
Yeah. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, they're burning
They could do it.
Man.
They could do it if they had. One driver can't do that because you'd never be able to sleep. But
yeah,
I think they could do it.
Smokey and the Bandit, dude.
Yeah.
It's like Convoy, the movie. It's like right on. This is good. We're going to cover it.
Now, it does say there's 2 other convoys that have massive turnouts are in progress to D.C. area as we speak. The organizers wrote on Facebook early Saturday, referring to 2 groups called the People's Convoy and the Texas Convoy. They're making decisions to send any truckers planning to meet at our routes to start heading to D.C. for the event on the National Mall. We'll see. So I mean, it's going to come up. Yeah. I don't know if it might be March 2nd. Well, who knows? They're going to have to coordinate all these different convoys. We'll see what happens.
Yep. We'll keep you posted. The heck with the Ukraine.
This is from CoinDesk. Let's move on. We have just some brief articles here. Monday was a holiday, so you're getting this week's edition of the newsletter a day late, but it was a pretty eventful day. Maybe on the cusp of seeing the effect of that widely coordinated government-imposed sanctions have on digital currencies and currencies' ability to bypass this type of financial censorship. 2 real-world events over the past week have interesting implications for crypto, Canada's Freedom Convoy, and the government's efforts to shut this border blockade down and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Financial sanctions could prove Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency industry's value proposition. Even putting the crypto to specific implications aside, we're going to be discussing sanctions, the government's ability to impact how people transact more broadly for some time to come. Governments are about to test the limits of sanctioning crypto wallets. I mean, this is just an overview of it all, but it really is important.
Yeah.
There's not too much in here that we haven't already gone over.
Yeah, well,
but I had it in the show notes. There's real quick article. 3G is going bye-bye. For Tesla, the Jeep, the end of 3G networks is a problem for millions of car owners.
Yeah, I looked into that, and some can get updated. The older security systems, there's issues with that. It's the same as, I mean, I had a working smartphone, and then they told me I just couldn't update the Android anymore enough to make it viable.
Well, so, they're basically doing this. They're shutting down in 3G intentionally. It's not technically. It's not a good idea to do because you want you're screwing around with people who have older technology. But that's why they're doing it. They're forcing people to move to 5G.
Well, they're saying that they want to use the juice that they're using for the 3G into their new 4 and 5G systems. Obviously, as opposed to just beefing those systems up and keeping 3G. So, yeah, it's typical.
Obviously, it costs money keep the 3G infrastructure up. You do have to move on technically, but 5G is it is a very powerful frequency. We still need to do more research on how it's going to affect humans. I mean, if you're near a 5G tower,
really
run. It's been documented that
it'll cook your Thanksgiving dinner.
There is some type of radiation. Even with the 4G towers, people that have lived close to them have had issues with cancer. Yeah. So 5G is even more powerful, much more powerful. So
huge.
When they were trying to launch 5G earlier this year, airports had all kinds of problems. So definitely going to be an ongoing thing here. But interesting to note it, 3G is gone. So if you've got old devices, you're pretty much screwed.
Pretty much, unless you can switch them over to Wi-Fi. I still use my old smartphone on Wi-Fi, and it works. I just don't have access to the LG network.
This has been known for a while, the possibility of this, but this is from motorist.com. New law will install kill switches in all new vehicles, and this is a major problem. And
reason number 42 not to buy a new vehicle.
People need to be aware of this and need to express their opinion on it. Does it sound like a good thing to have in new cars?
I don't know. I wouldn't want it myself.
I think it's going. Well, yeah. If this does get implemented, and this is not just the United States. Many countries are considering this.
Oh, it'd be awesome! Like the law enforcement can just turn your motor off.
Look at what's happening with bank accounts being frozen, and imagine now at the car level where anyone's new car can be.
Somebody can hack into it. If that's the system, somebody could obviously figure out how to do it, and you'll be driving down the road, and all of a sudden your car dies. The next thing you know, there's a pickup behind you with a bunch of thugs, and you take everything you got. This could get way out of hand. It's totally ridiculous. All right, let's file that under almost bizarro. That is like.
Well,
I'm old school.
It's gonna be interesting to see how it unfolds.
I like vehicles that were built back in the 1900s. That just. No, I do. You put this key in it. If it's broken, you can fix it.
The older cars, there's a good argument of it. The older cars they don't have all the CPUs. They can't even get enough CPUs into the cars because there's a CPU shortage, silicon shortage. But the car makers are not going to go back to that because gas is horrible and the climate.
It costs too much. It costs too much. You take my 1983 Chevy van. They could not build that right now. There's so much steel in it. There's so much blood and guts in it that they don't have blood and guts like that to build vehicles. They got to build them out of plastic and candy and pass it off as technology. That's what I say.
Yeah, these smart cars too. Not even the Teslas. Most new cars have phantom braking problems.
No.
Yeah.
And no, I don't want
it. It's because it's constantly trying to avoid a collision, and it's buggy. So it's going to take years, but obviously
better have smart drivers and smart cars.
There's a market. There's a market.
There's a huge market
for the old. You might see something where the old used car market where the whole new industry gets built around that where.
Well, you can to a certain extent.
There could be a large part of the population that wants that because
these
smart cars are just
a lot of people.
bug-ridden. They're bug-ridden. The Teslas, that's all they have is problems all the time. Even smart Subaru, whatever
vehicles,
it is, the phantom braking issues.
Used vehicles are fetching a big price, man, a huge price. Like my Chevy Class B motorhome is valued up at towards $30,000 right now. It's crazy. But I could take it to the pawn shop and get 12 or something. Yeah, well, that's it. I'm a definite believer in the older style of everything. I bought a freezer in 1974 that's still being used now, a Westinghouse freezer. So try doing that with a new freezer. Oh, speaking of freezers, hey, I'm glad you got the graphic on this because the pictures are wonderful. Now, this is a couple. Now, What if they showed up at your barbecue? Okay.
We are now officially in Bizarro News section of the stream.
And it's Bitcoin oriented. Boy, we're staying thematical today, man.
And from luxurylaunches.com, a Walmart gift card took them down the incredible journey of the crocodile of Wall Street and her husband, who laundered $4.5 billion in Bitcoin.
Yeah, $4.5 billion.
How would you describe a modern dystopian Bonnie and Clyde? They're white, one half's Russian, and the other's an American rapper. They're too nice to kill people who mess with their heist. So she's the rapper and he's the Russian?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, well, come on. Yeah, I mean, she's looking she's throwing gang signs here. She's throwing gang signs. Look at her. No, she's got to be the rapper. Yeah.
She's the rapper.
Yeah, she's throwing the gang signs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with her.
Oh, they got the cat. Look, I see the cat and the guy. Boy, these guys really got the PR pictures going on. Oh, the cat and the guy. Oh.
So they're open about who they are because that's what it takes to be an influencer, which every rapper is by default. So there's so much reference content on the internet to learn more about them, a lot of which you will learn as you read on if you don't know already, and yet they're a mystery.
If you haven't already shot yourself, go on.
The crime is said to have been committed in 2016. As soon as you set your eyes upon their amusing appearances, you would not second-guess them to be mastermind crooks who know their way around some codes. Some reports suggest that Ilya, let's call him Dutch, as he prefers, and Morgan met each other about a decade ago. They spent enough time in Silicon Valley where they learned the way of the game and got married in November 2021. He was an entrepreneurial nerd. Dutch placed his breadcrumbs to success in a rather ordinary pattern. As soon as he graduated from the University of Wisconsin, he launched MixRank in 2011, a marketing startup. He even managed to get billionaire Mark Cuban to invest in this dream of his.
Marky.
He went on to create a crypto-based cybersecurity firm called NPass, and to date, this is our corporate advice to startups. She was a marketeer rapper cat mom.
Yeah.
These pictures are great. She's definitely looks cool.
They?
She looks cool, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm just so impressed with this article's pictures. The story's great, too. But yeah,
she's the founder of SalesFolk, a marketing company that launched in 2013. Company had a Dutch in its employ, all about as an advisor. She moved to her Manhattan home along with Dutch and has a cat, and is known to be a self-professed awkward hip-hop artist who goes by Razlakan and has dedicated her recent few years to produce some singles. Her rapping videos have received much fame after their arrest and seem to be the only silver lining for the couple as they sail through this ordeal.
Way to get publicity, right?
So sometime in August 2016, a massive hack affected Bitfinex, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges. An unidentified data assailant managed to breach the company's digital coffers that led to the company halting all trading on their platform. To mitigate losses, Bitfinex put an immediate stop to digital withdrawals into deposits. It's only later that the news emerged of some money being stolen from the company while the hack was active and being dealt with. Booty was not heavy back then, valued at $71 million.
Yeah, I guess.
Same amount. If valued at today's value, BTC comes up to an astonishing 4.5. Now, what's strange is that the couple weren't the ones who orchestrated the hack, or it hasn't been proven yet, as per federal officials.
But they had the money.
Where they did fit into the scheme of things is that the money was stolen was transferred into a crypto wallet that was controlled by Dutch. The crime that the couple is accused of is their attempt to launder the money into their accounts and defraud the United States. They could be facing a prison sentence that can have a largely lengthy term. So it doesn't sound like they did the direct hack, but they were laundering it. So
yeah, well, that's the thing. I believe it says that the final act of the saga was played out by the meticulous authorities who cashed in on the one mistake that Dutch and Morgan made. Most of the stolen money still resided in the original wallet. was first deposited at the time of the robbery. The magic of the blockchain network and the powerful security and transparency it provides was demonstrated by the FBI and IRS, who used tools to sniff out the journey of the illegal money. The lure of a Walmart gift card can take people places, but it has led to the trail of investigators to know how and where the suspects were using their money. The court proceeding revealed that investigators used a $500 gift cards trail to land up at the digital doorstep of the couple. The card was sent to a Russian registered email address via a transaction that was conducted on an IP address. This IP address was linked to Dutch's New York presence, making it crystal clear who and where the suspects were operating from. So take that.
And also, so they were basically laundering the money, and they also went on the dark web. Alphabay, which is a known marketplace in the dark web, you can buy. I don't recommend you go on the dark web, but you can buy drugs. You can, look into getting exploit codes, 0-day exploit codes, stuff like that. But there's a lot of scams, and you need to take lots of precautions if you're going to do that. But they were on the dark web, trying to launder this money. But the reality is that the blockchain, especially Bitcoin, the transactions are all there. They can easily be traced. So the magic of the blockchain network and the powerful security and transparency it provides was demonstrated by the FBI and the IRS, who used tools to sniff out the journey of the illegal money. So a lot of people, they make the argument, Bitcoin is because it's all a bunch of thieves, drug dealers, whatever, and it's being used, blah, blah, blah. But when people like this, try to do the money laundering, they're going to get caught. Because it's, you want to use something, pirate chain or something else that has at least some kind of anonymity layers in there for you.
Well, but these guys,
I'm not giving people ideas.
Yeah, but the thing is, these people don't look like the sharpest knives in the drawer.
No, I mean, this picture right here kind of sums it up. So
I think it does.
She's holding a crocodile of some sort in her hand.
Yeah, I know. You gotta love it. This is what makes our world such an interesting place.
Let's do the Ukrainian citizens.
All right, back to Ukraine. Now, this is interesting for a number of reasons. One is that the Russian tank is out of gas, but also just the guy's attitude, and they kind of laugh a little bit. It's quite delightful.
So that's a Russian tank, and Ukrainians asking them, "Oh, you guys are out of gas?"
Yeah.
So,
they laugh.
And is this happening in other areas? I mean, come on, Putin. You do an invasion, and then one of your tanks runs out of gas? What's going on here?
Okay, play from the top, or if you can. I want to catch this.
Сломались, пацаны. Сломались. Можно оттащить на Россию обратно. А вы хоть знаете, куда вы едете? Нет. Куда? На Киев, хуярите. Да. А что по новостям говорят? У вас пока все на нашей стороне. Ваши плен сдаются хорошо. Потому что тоже пацаны не знают, куда ехать. И я вот всю колонну пообспрашивал, таких как вы. Никто не в курсе вообще, кто куда едет.
Wow.
Is this another one?
Yeah, but he doesn't stop for the next one. He just drives by him.
But they're out of gas also?
Looks like it.
That's pretty amazing. I want to.
It's not good logistics.
I wonder how widespread that was.
It's like, all right, now, if that doesn't sum up the war effort for the Russians, then nothing does. The heck with the news reports.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's it's possible, just Putin's arrogance. It's really gone over the top here. I mean,
Putin needs a new mother.
And
that's what I think.
Yeah, this is what I think everybody's been waiting for. I mean, if you're still here on the stream, thanks for sticking around, because you can get to check out this chick, Anna Lynn McCord, who I believe, I think Tim Pool covered this. he said she was on 90210, that horrible show back in maybe it was at the 90s or something. Actually, a horrible show. But let's preface here. But American actor Anna Lynn McCord faced backlash on Thursday when she recited an original poem addressed to Russian President Vladimir Putin. The internet lambasted the poem as tone deaf and likened it to Gal Gadot's infamous 2020 Imagine video. McCord's poem seemed to suggest that she could have positively influenced him had she been his mother.
Yeah.
Now, Putin, I believe, is around 68, and she's in her 30s, maybe late 30s.
Well, but it's fantasy, baby.
How's that going to work?
Hey, this woman's been on TV, you know. Play it from the top if you can.
I don't know.
You know,
when I look at her, I don't see mother like that. Like the whole mother thing, it's not coming out for me when I look at her. She's definitely got a complex. She's a wannabe mother for sure. I don't think she has kids. I can guarantee you that. I could
play it from the top with the audio.
I could help her with that if she's interested.
I'm sure she would be.
Dear President Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, with the audio, because she's got a beautiful speaking voice.
Let me try to crank this up as much as I can. I have a little bit of juice I can crank up, but she's a little bit low. She's got to place the mic better next time. All right, let me start from the beginning, and we'll be quiet so you can try to hear her.
Okay. Dear President Vladimir Putin, I'm so sorry that I was not your mother. If I was your mother, you would have been so loved. Held in the arms of joyous light. Never would the stories plight the world unfurled before our eyes, a pure demise of nations sitting peaceful under a night sky. If I was your mother, the world would have been warm. So much laughter and joy, and nothing would harm. I can't imagine the stain, the soul-stealing pain that the little boy you must have seen and believed, and the formulation of thought quickly taught that you lived in a cruel and unjust world. Is this why you now decide no one will get the best of you? Is this why you do not hide nor away shy from taking back the world? Was it because so early in life, all that strife racked your little body with fear?
Your little body.
Your mother, if the world was cold, I'd have died to make you warm. I'd have died to protect you from the unjust, the violence, the terror, the uncertainty. I would have died to give you life. Oh, dear Mr. President Putin, if only I'd been your mother. Perhaps the torture of unwrit youth would not within your heart imbue ascription to such fealty against that world that you thought was so cruel. Perhaps
it's hard
you
to get
hold
through.
Dear human life, and on this night, instead of Mother Russia, you would call me, and I would set your mind quite free with the love that only a mother can give, and only a mother can take away. When holds she doesn't the harm at bay and leaves her boy for the promise of a man. Whatever your story, Mr. President Putin, I can't imagine how it feels in your heart, but I know if I was your mother, I would be a starter.
We might as well just finish it. Keep the torture going. It's almost done.
Powerful being of light you could be if your mind was only free from the violence you've seen when you were just 2 or 3. I cannot believe I was born too late. In a different place when I would have loved you so, watched you play wherever you go.
And it just cuts off. But that was painful to listen to.
It was watch. Really, actually, it's like
it's very painful. But I wanted to feel her pain, and so
I
did it.
I'm feeling so many different emotions right now, Yankee. I mean, I'm feeling. I'm having an out of body experience here. I think. You know, you said she was just trying to get
extremely condescending, but also trying to play a very affectionate type of tone, but extremely condescending more than anything else.
You said she's just trying to do something to get back on TV, and if that's her acting audition, she might find a part. You know, now if she's for real, I bet she's on Xantax or some freaking thing. she's got to be on drugs.
There's HIPAA laws. We can't go into what medications people are on. We might legally.
I said she's got to be. I didn't
allegedly.
say she
You have to say she could. Allegedly, she's on such and such.
Can I say?
Diazepam.
It looks like she's stoned out of her mind. Can I say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Allegedly, she looks like she's stoned out of her mind.
Yeah. Well, don't tell us. You can't say that we didn't give it up today to you people. We had the Ukraine. We had Bitcoin. We had Canadian convoys, U.S. convoys, caravans now. We had
a lot.
We had more Bitcoin. We had what's really going on in the Ukraine. I think that video of the tanks being out of gas was the most powerful update.
Yeah,
of the war.
That's
cutting edge journalism.
Important to I mean, nobody's. I don't see any of the major outlets covering that. That's strange. I mean,
they're not covering it like the people
really
on the street.
Well,
that's the beauty of the new world of communications. That people can post this stuff independently, and then independent news organizations like ours can find it and get it out there. Because,
we've got Diane in the chat saying she's disrespecting Putin's mother, not him. So,
I never thought about Putin's mother. How would Putin's mother feel? I didn't. Thank you. I hadn't thought about her. Oh, now I'm really confused.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Oh, man, I hadn't thank you, Diane. That was great. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to... Are we going to keep covering this woman next week?
I mean, if she knows what she's doing, she'll figure out how to stay in the news. But if she doesn't figure it out, we won't hear about her again. Yeah, I'll get on all her social media, and I'm not going to stalk her, but yeah, I'll figure it out.
No, see if you can get her on the show.
I'll reach out to her, see if she wants to discuss things further, because I would imagine she's going to try to do something again, because this war's going to definitely drag on for a few more weeks, maybe a month or more. Who knows?
We're a major news organization.
I'll reach out to her.
All right, great.
Reach out to her. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, I think we're good. That's all we got. Eepity y'all. That's all, folks. For now. Next week we're going to go in the deep end a little bit more. Who knows? But yeah, we'll be back. So.
Indeed.
But I like that. Disrespecting Putin's mother. Boy, she might be in trouble, because Putin's mother might be a real...
I don't think she's alive if Putin's 68. There's kind of no way.
Well, she's
it's
alive.
Possible, unless she's 100 years old.
Well, if she's alive,
I think we would have known.
Have problems. This woman might have problems.
Indeed.
All right, we're going to leave it at that.
All right, Diane, thanks for hanging out in the chat.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks for letting that be known. And one more thing from Diane, and I agree with you guys on her not being a mom. Looks like she sleeps on her couch.
One room
apartment.
Way to go. Yeah,
I'm definitely going to reach out to her, because
she needs help.
Yeah, she needs to talk it out more. You know what I mean?
I think you could be the guy for it, man.
I'll do my best. I'll make an effort. I'll probably be ignored, but
you're good people.
She'll probably ignore me, but yeah.
Man,
all right, everybody.
Right now.
Thanks for your support, and we'll be back next Sunday. Look out for my crypto show. I'll have something tomorrow, so definitely check that out, and we'll have more streams to come.
Going down.
And
it's in the news.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, and happy end of February. All right, spring is coming.
Just one more day.
All right. Nice emoji, J-end.
Indeed. Take care, everybody.
Coffee. Yo, later.
My tree. I love my woman. She making love to me. don't shine, shoot.